begin, I would like to say thank you to Charles from Team COG for giving me this opportunity. I have been a big fan of the channel for a very long time, and honestly, given an opportunity to show this when honestly I never thought I would ever be able to, has really given me a different perspective on things in terms of being a content creator and also being a Yu-Gi-Oh player, as well as given how much success I've actually gotten from this deck in terms of one of my favorite hobbies. I want to go over a few things before we begin. This is the first time I've recorded a deck profile in maybe 3 years, so get ready for some very outdated quality. This is the first time I've ever actually used a tripod, so for my phone, so have fun picking on me for that. Also, if it sounds like I am a distant away, is because I actually have my microphone set up. Because it's up to Charles whether or not he wants to put my channel in the description. I do horror story content instead of just Yu-Gi-Oh content. But I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I thought this would be a good idea to show off a deck I took to a competitive local event and got 8-0 with it. That's right, I got first place with just playing pure Shadoll. Now, I wanted to explain before I begin my reasoning and my... Bleh, I apparently can't talk today. My reasoning for playing pure. The truth is, and whether or not you want to play pure variant is fine. If you have the money to shell out for Invoked or Dogmatica, I would honestly prefer it if you did that instead of just following this build. But if you're trying to be on budget, whether it is you have rent to pay, or you were like me at the time and you were a struggling college student, then this is perfect for you. My first thing I would like to point out very quickly is that I, at the time, did not have any sort of money to afford a deck that was roughly around $50 to $300 something, so I just did not run it. However, though, I did want to go to an online competitive event at my locals, so there were a bunch of competitive decks around, the top tier stuff, and I did get first place by just playing pure Shadoll because Dragoon and Pass is a good move. Now, I will state this. This can be played in any sort of way you want. This is just how I played it. This is not PAX Trapdolls, although I would recommend if you want to play competitive variant, but play a good competitive variant, you could either go with this build or you could go with Trapdolls. This is not Kali Effects, Magadus, Shadoll, which is, again, a good archetype. This is my own personal Shadoll deck. Now, let me get right into the build, so that way we can just get right to it and get right through it, because I know a lot of people in the Team COG Discord, as well as a bunch of my friends who, once this video gets out, I will be linking this to, under Charles's permission, will honestly... it'll be a great idea. It'll be a great video to show, and it'll just be great for a lot of my Yu-Gi-Oh friends to see my ideas and my ideologies, as well as the calculations and the smart guy rumors I've done, because I was ever very rarely a troubled kid, and I very rarely got into some fights and stuff, and I paid attention in calculus. So let's get right into the deck profile, and I'll show you the ratios. So for this variant, you want to actually play 3 Windy. Windy is your MVP of the deck. What I mean by this is, how I looked at things is, it says on the ban list you're limited to 1 Foolish Burial, but with Construct and this, you're roughly around playing 7. So when you are allowed to play 7, why the hell would you actually want to play 6 or 5 Foolish Burials? This is the reason why this was a big, issue, I guess, I had with the Shadoll Invoked and the Dogmaticas, because especially as of late, they've cut Windy to 2 when she is a good set and a good Foolish Burial type card. What I mean by a good Foolish Burial type card is, I'll give you a quick combo demonstration, if I remember to, because I do not sleep well, so my memory is a little foggy even with things I really want to do. But yeah, basically what I mean by that, and I'll give you a quick rundown just in case I don't really have time to record a combo video, is that this card can set a Shadoll monster, as well as when you send that other Shadoll monster, once it's flipped face up with Resh incarnation, you can definitely send it to the graveyard, so it might as well just be an extra Foolish Burial. Plus, this is, if not, this deck's own version of Pisty, of Guardragon Pisty, that will never get banned, because it doesn't limit you, and it very well admits that it is there to cause you to OTK and or lock the opponent down. The next, you want to run three Shadoll Squamatas. Squamata is also another good combo card for your deck. I love Shadoll Squamata. He was one of the first MVPs of our deck. Unfortunately, he's downgraded though. If for some reason you want to run Hollow, you can run Hollow in this deck. You just have to cut a Squamata down. And honestly, given how Hollow runs, Squamata is just way better to use because you have a less percentile chance of luck with Squamata, where you could just send a card, whatever card you want, to the grave. But with Hollow, you have to be lucky and send it. Don't get me wrong, if you were playing like a Lightsworn engine, if that was still viable, yes, absolutely you want to run Hollow in this deck. But I think with Hollow, the only good thing is that banish ability. Otherwise, it would have been amazing. 2 Hedgehog. You only want 2, because you just don't have the room. Hedgehog is a good spell and trap card searcher, as well as a good monster searcher. Honestly, I prefer just sending this from deck to grave to get its effects to go off, rather than its flippability. Its flippability is kind of trash, not gonna lie. In 2014, when this deck was tier 0, definitely would have put the Shadoll, would have definitely preferred the flip effect. But now we're in a format where monster lineup is literally the most important thing, so I just want to use the monster effect. Next is 2 Nail Shadoll Aerial. So I had very mixed feelings on this card when it first got announced. This card on first announcement, I was like, this card is garbage. Why do they make this? I don't want them to turn Shadolls into a banishment deck. But then after they announced that and they announced Windy, I was like, oh, so this card is just Recursion and DD Crow. Got it. This card is literally just 3 DD Crow in a deck, as well as your own version of DDR for Infernoble Knights. This is literally your own version of DDR. Because what, basically, how the combo works is, you fusion summon Construct, you make, Gravity Control of a Construct, then, if you used Windy, you set this card, and then through sending Resh, you flip this card face up, summoning back Construct, thus sending another card. You literally get Construct to go off twice. Everyone knows that combo, but in case you're new to Shadoll, that is the way to use it. That is an amazing combo, and honestly, this deck is centered around that combo piece. And last, the Shadoll main deck package for monsters. We run literally just 3 different Shadoll monsters. We run the first Shadoll monster I ever pulled, Beast, just as a good pot of greed, basically, slash jar of greed, depending on what effect you use first. Shadoll Dragon for pop and backer removal, and of course, the new Shadoll Genius. Everyone was saying Shadoll Genius was trash. Honestly, compared to the 2, Shadoll Genius is your best option, just because it performs because it performs an extra form of disruption to the opponent, as well as, in a sense, for you Crusadia players out there, a Crusadia power. Because what this card reads, and I'll read this card's effect to you very quickly. If it's flipped face up, you can target a Shadoll monster you control. That face up monster is unaffected by monster effects this turn except its own. Sound familiar? It's literally Crusadia power. However, though, if this card is sent to the graveyard, it literally does an Azul to your opponent. It targets a card in the field, and then neither player can use that card's effects. So the only way that doesn't work is Dragoon and or I believe Savage or an Apollousa, but everything else is targetable by that card effect, and it's awesome. Next, for the Rogue package, we literally run 2 Mathematician. Never drop this card if you are not playing the Magadus engine. And I know what you're thinking, guys. What the hell? These are proxied. Well, I have 2 more Gale Dogra in the mail. I originally only ran 1 as kind of an experiment. But Gale Dogra is a backup Dogmatica punishment. What I mean by that is it's a more expensive one, but it's not once per turn. So if you can keep paying the life points, you can definitely keep using this card. And if you don't know what this card is, because it's older, allow me to read its effects. Basically, you can pay 3,000 life points to discard 1 card from your hand. A card that sends cards from effects to the graveyard. Perfect for Shadolls. But then you can send one. Oh, I didn't even read that, so I got more studying to do. See? Typical Yu-Gi-Oh player. I don't even read my cards fully. You could discard 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. So you don't even need to discard a monster. You just need to pay 3,000 life points. And that may be costly. That may be a little bit expensive. But when you're strategizing and when you're thinking of these combos, it does work. When I originally went in with this deck, I actually did not run 3 Gale Dogra. I only ran 1 as a little bit of an experiment. So if you do not, for some reason, want to play 3 of him, 1 is all you actually need for this. You could play 1, and honestly, your combos will go off just fine because you're literally linking off with this after you use its effect. What I kept doing with this one is I kept sending the app Cologne to get the search from deck. So, immediate good one. And I'm a scrub. I run the Trickstar package. I don't like running other light targets in this deck if I can't afford it. So what I ended up doing, originally was I added a little mini Dogmatica package of a less and then 2 punishment. But then I realized that that just doesn't work as much as it would. So I added in the Mech Knight engine, which worked a little bit. And then if you guys really want, I can do a deck profile over on my other channel at some point with that. But for right now, I am running the Trickstar package. This can be any light target you choose. Personally, I prefer the Trickstar package because nostalgia. Also because if I use this, so let's just say my opponent wants to use Dragoon. I can't send it to the graveyard with this, but I can negate all effect damage I would take because of Performance Damage Juggler. And then I can banish it later to search the light target Trick Clown that could summon itself back, making a Verde Anaconda, summoning my own Dragoon. This, like I said, I didn't play this, but when I was playing with my brother yesterday, this came up like twice. So, this specific combo came up twice. So, I would not say it's, not useful. It's very useful, and I think it's something that's very underestimated in today's format right now. Let's go through the hand trap lineup. In this deck, I am here to take down the best of the best. So 3 Ghost Ogre. I know the pictures and the rarities are not matching up, but the reason why I'm running this one is because, this one was the first Ghost Ogre / competitive hand trap I ever picked up. And, this Ghost Ogre in particular, you could see it's a little beat up, meant so much to me. It is literally my lucky Ghost Ogre. I never go to a competitive event without it. Thankfully, I now sleep my cards, though. Alright. Next for hand traps. The last hand traps we run in the deck are Artifact Lancia, because have you read Misk? A lot of people are wondering about the Gamma package. I actually side decked that package because, I don't know what anyone's talking about. Gamma is not that useful this format. Alright. Anyway. Dragoon package. We are playing Dragoon. Huh. No wonder I won a majority of my games, right? Setting up Dragoon and passing is just a little broken. But the Dragoon package for obvious reasons. Alright, that is it for the monster cards. For spells, we run 3 Shadoll Fusion, because sending from deck to grave is always nice, always a plus. 3 L Shadoll Fusion, because it's just a good quick play polymerization. This is going to be a weird choice, but I actually chose to run 2 super polymerization lately, and it's weird, because you didn't expect to see this, but I would prefer 2 super polymerization just because upon activate, yes, this card isn't once per turn, yes, all you need to do is discard card, yes, it clears boards, yes, you could chain around super poly to negate it, but here is the thing with that. Why, I wanted to keep the 40 card build, the 40 card, like, extension, but 2 super poly actually works really well because, one, I can't brick with it, which, believe it or not, is a possibility. And 2, my favorite thing, and number 2, my favorite thing is you have room to play the Dragoon with this. If you do not want to play Dragoon, or you can't afford Dragoon, that is okay. You can literally just take the 2 out, run 2 more hand traps, and then maybe an impermanence or 2, trap cards if you're playing trap cards, or if you're playing trap dolls, and run a 3rd super poly in this. The last spell card I run is 1 Foolish Burial. It is literally just extension. And then because it's Shadolls, we are playing 2 trap cards minimum. Rest Shadoll, Incarnation, and then 1 Schism. I did at one point want to play Trap Dolls. The thing with Trap Dolls, and it's not because of money-wise or anything like that, I can afford all the cards at this point in Trap Dolls. I don't like doing that to my opponent. And plus, what if I hit my own shit? Like, that's also a game for me. So, Incarnation's beautiful. Schism is beautiful. Schism, unfortunately, might be the most expensive card in this deck. So if you cannot run Schism, I unfortunately don't know how to help you. Sinister Shadow Games is a good backup plan because, instead of thinking long-term stun, you could think of straight gas. Hold on for a sec. I need a drink of water. Sorry, I'm literally coming out of a workout while I did this, so. Little tired. Schism is literally the expensive card I would say you have to run in this deck. I don't know any good alternatives for Schism because that's how good this card is in this deck. In any variant, I would ask you to play this. There are 1,000,001 variants to play Shadolls in. This is a personal variant. This is like a needed card. Incarnation's easy to pick up. Those are the only 2 trap cards you need, really. Everything else, if you're playing trap dolls, you obviously need the standard trap doll lineup. But anyway, let's get into the extra deck. The Link ones I am playing is I light target Artemis. This is the main light target you go into through Mathematician, any of your normal summons, etc. Gravity Controller because you're going into it through Construct. Also, it's good battle negate, which is always fun. Some of the Link, or only Link 2s I play. I've cut down a lot of the Link 2 package from the last time I showed the build to the people on Discord. To the people at the Team COG Discord. I still play the 1 Proxy F. This card is very underrated, and I get very upset when I don't see that. Not like, oh, but like, this is a free polymerization. Like, so, if any of you don't know what it is, I will read to you this card. So, first off, Link 2, very easy to make. 2 effect monsters. Okay. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from the field as fusion materials. If a fusion monster or monsters is fusion summoned to a zone or zones this card points to, you can special summon 1,000 attack point or less from your hand. Monster from your hand. It's a Cyberse and it's also free to make. If you do not feel comfortable running this for whatever reason, because there are a lot of reasons to not run this card sometimes, run IP. Run IP. Make an Appaloosa on your opponent's turn. That's always a fun combo. Verde to go into the Dragoon, though. This is also a fire monster, so if for some reason you want to play Grista, there you go. You have a good fire target that is not hollow. Next, your 1 Link 3-1 play is Celine. This can be any Link 3. You can make this into a unicorn for all I care. I just think it's good because it's a free monster reborn, and it gets you into a Dragoon and an Appaloosa way easier. Appaloosa with a minimum of 2 negates, by the way. Speaking of Appaloosa, our 2 Link 4s. Appaloosa, and this can be Access Code Talker. I would just prefer not to shell up $100 and play the Boral Sword Dragon for a good OTK. Appaloosa for a good 1-turn negate. Or 2 negates at least. That is it for the Link lineup. For the extra deck lineup, we run 2 Winda. I see people kind of arguing between 2 or 3 Winda right now. Personally, I would prefer the 2 Winda. I don't need a third one. I have the room for a third one, I just don't choose to play it. And 2 Winda is all you really need to shut down your opponent. So there you go. Speaking of 2, we run 2 Apgalone. 3 is not a necessity. It can be fun to play 3, but 3 is not a necessity. In the end, the extra deck can be styled to whatever way you want. I just prefer 2 Apgalone in this case. Next, second to last extra deck monster. 3 Construct. The reason why I prefer 3 of her and not 3 of any of the other ones I just shown, you need the Foolish Burial effect. This is the reason why Shadolls were not tier 1 for so long, is because Construct was literally banned and at 1 for so goddamn long until we got the structure deck. You literally need that Foolish Burial effect to go off, and because that Foolish Burial ability is not a hard once per turn, says a lot about how important that Foolish Burial ability is to get Construct to fully go off. And then your last extra deck monster, obvious reasons, 1 Dragoon. You need Dragoon for this deck, or rather, you don't need Dragoon for this deck. This can literally be replaced with any Super Poly target. I swear I'm not tryhard. I play Dragoon, and there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, oh, Dragoon is such a bad card. Hear me out. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a girlfriend. When 2020 came out, I wanted Dragoon for nostalgia purposes. Dark Magician and Red Eyes were my 2 favorite monsters when I was a kid watching the anime, and I wanted Dragoon because it just symbolized how much I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole to me. I had Verde Anaconda at the time, and when the tins came out, me and my girlfriend went down to our locals, and we got, or rather, we went to Newbury Comics, down at our mall, and we grabbed 2 boxes, or we grabbed the first tin. I didn't get it. I got so angry. I went back because I'm petty, and I was like, I wanted to grab one, but my girlfriend wanted one. I was like, pick one. And she has this weird method of picking things, and somehow she pulls everything. You probably see where this story is going. She grabbed the 3rd one from the back, and then when we bought it, she opened all the packs before me, and I got to my last pack, and I didn't pull Dragoon, and I was like, man, I was sad, because I did not want to shell out $130 for this card. She dropped it right in my lap, and she said, this card is yours, and this is the same Dragoon. This Dragoon has never left my side. In any main deck I play, this Dragoon has never, ever left my side. And I have no reason to let go of it yet. I'm sorry, this video got really sappy real quick. The point is, when I talk about Dragoon, I refer to it sometimes as our boss monster, as in me and my girlfriend's boss monster, because I think without Leah, my girlfriend, I don't think I would have had this card. I don't think I would have been able to play this card, and it just means a lot to me that she willingly went out of her way to get this card for me. And I don't know. Sorry, guys, but Dragoon's a good card this format. Best card this format. It's gonna be a very sad rip if they ban this card for me, but you know, it'll be very understandable for obvious reasons. And what's even funnier is now my girlfriend hates the fact that I constantly use this in any build I play of anything. Anyway, away from the sappy stuff, we got the side deck I chose to play. Yes, you see a solemn card. Yes, I am that person. Leave me alone. We got, for the last hand trap lineup, 3 Ash. Ash is not good this format. You can fight me on that. Ash literally does nothing this format. Speaking of does nothing this format, Gamma. The Gamma package. I put 2 extra deck cards in here. Starving Venom for a Super Poly target, and Shiki Naga as a replacement, because sometimes you actually don't even need 2 Apgalone, you just need the 1. Shiki Naga is an amazing negate, and if you flip Genius, you literally have an untargetable negate. So, call it what you will, I guess. The only spells I play is called by Foolish Burial for hand traps, yes. Call by the Grave for hand traps, and then the last Super Poly, because like I said, there have been moments where I actually don't want to run the Dragoon in certain matches, so what I end up doing is taking out the Red Eyes Fusion, putting some hand traps in, replacing it with a few hand traps, maybe 2 Ash, and then, or maybe one of our trap cards, and playing Super Poly. So that works in the end. If you don't believe me, I want you to grab this list card for card and try it, because it works. And like I said, there are a million budget options around what I just played, around what I just showed you. There are a million budget options around, a million non-budget options around what I just showed you. Play this deck however way you want. As long as you don't run Mystic Mine or Dinosaurs, we are on good terms. For trap card lineup in the side deck, I am not running Impermanence. There is no Impermanence in this because Impermanence is a bad hand trap this format. 2 Solemn Strike, 2 Solemn Warning, wow. 2 Solemn Judgment. Again, mixed match rarities, ugh, I know. But I gave all of them to my girlfriend because she's playing Salamangreats right now. This, honestly, is your best trap lineup because they literally negate anything this format can throw at you. Same thing with Ghost Ogre. So, yeah. This was my deck profile. Like I said, I took this to an online tournament my locals was having about a month ago, and almost a month ago, or by the time you get this, around a month ago. And honestly, this deck meant so much to me playing again. I've been playing this deck since I was 14, and where I did not get my invocations in time, this was amazing to me to play, because I got to play a pure variant, and every competitive deck I play against, I fucking stomped in the ground. I played, I don't even know if I could swear, I'm sorry, Charles, I played, 2 Dragon Link, 2 Invoke Dogmatica, and believe it or not, I played, like, 2 Invoked Mech Knight at the time. Yeah, it was crazy. But this deck meant a lot to me. This won me the event. And I have a few YouTubers that wanted to reach out to me, but I chose specifically Charles for the member-only month. Because... And he didn't come to me, I came to him, because honestly, this channel is amazing to me. And this channel, when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Around 7 or 8 months ago, yeah, it was the Crusadias and the Infernobles and the Shadolls, despite me not watching Ferg's videos, getting me back into the game. And honestly, if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't be playing this game right now. So thank you all. And thank you, Charles, for letting me on. This means a lot to me. This meant a lot to me to do. I will hopefully comment if anyone has questions, me and Charles will be more than happy to go into the comment section, look through some things, and read them, because I am a NEET and I have no life sometimes. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.